was your emotion when you first received not the script, but the information? Listen, there is some project of James Gunn, animated one. Maybe you want to try it.
Well, for me, it wasn't that. It was James calling me and saying, "This is what I'm doing, and you're going to do it with me." And well, I mean, he obviously said, he pitched it, and I said, "Man, whatever you're doing, anything, I'm in." So before I read anything, I was on board. Both he and Peter Safran texted me and they said, "We have this thing." I'm like, I'm in, and they laughed, and here we are.
Yeah, pretty much the same, absolutely the same. Because I met James back in 2022, got to work with him, and I fell in love with his vision, with his attitude, with his behavior, with everything about him. Just, he's extraordinarily talented, and he is a good human being. So it's a no-brainer to want to work with him again. Doesn't matter what the material is, because you know that he's gonna do exceptional work. Yeah. His writing is outstanding, his direction is outstanding, his vision is outstanding. And he also texted me, he was like, "I'm developing this character, which is original idea, which is going to be part of like this new installment that we're going to do with new universe for DC."
Right.
And I just said, absolutely, please. I cannot believe it. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, when you're saying that he's approaching you and he's writing a character for you, is there any pointers that he's asking, like, do you want to add something to this character? Do you want to shape it a little bit more for you?
It's like an open discussion to a certain degree, I believe, because that's the greatest thing about him. Because working with him for Guardians at Guardians in the Galaxy, I experienced the fact that he can give you the freedom to try new things, but he's there as a leader. He's going to pitch you ideas that you can improvise with. It's not like, "Freedom, I'm stepping away, I'm not the director." So it's always a conversation that if you want to add something, it's possible. If you don't, you don't need to. Like, his writing is so great that you most of the time don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's true. And to add on to that, it's so good that when if you're not making it better, which for me, I rarely, if ever, am making what he's writing better, then you just say what he's writing. And that's a gift.
Yeah.
As an actor, we come to work and not having to worry about elevating something, as far as the words are concerned. It's really rare that you get something from James Gunn that you're going to make better.
Yeah.
I'm only asking because when you're in a live action movie, it's easy to have a double take for something that you want to try. In animation, there is no trying. They are drawing what you guys will say, and sometimes it's the other way around. So that's why I was asking about the developing the character.
Yeah, no, they followed our voices. We laid it down. We laid it down because we did some together.
Yeah,
we laid it down, and then they created the characters visually.
Right. And Frank, also I want to ask you, because in the middle of the season you got a new best friend. And I was curious how this relationship was building on.
Yeah. Like, am I allowed to?
I don't know.
I don't know what I could say. Yeah. Right. I can't say so much. Yeah.
Because I'm seeing there a body comedy, like the genre of the movies. That's why I'm not saying which character is it, but it's this fun play of words that we had in the 80s movies with the body comedies.
Right. Yeah, there's that element of it. I can't say too much, right? Because this is coming out. I can't be. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem.
Guy with a pistol right there, and it's just like.
And also, guys, this is actually especially to Frank. Are you a comic book fan? Do you know this genre more than the script that you're receiving?
I don't. I don't. I'm not a I'd lie if I said I was. I'm not a comic book fan. I haven't been. But I have a 16-year-old son who's a comic book fanatic, and he's kind of educated me and kind of turned me on to all of the stories and the mythologies behind and how interesting actually comic books are. And I've recently become a comic book fan.
Yes, and I grew up around comic books, but it's not culturally a thing in Bulgaria, because I was in Bulgaria up until I was 22. So it's been mostly different type of literature. Now when I'm here, I think it's time for me to do some digging.
It's interesting because I used to poo-poo comic books thinking it wasn't real literature. And it's an amazingly written stories that you get and mythologies, and they're deep. So I kind of cheated myself by not reading comics.
Did you have to watch the Suicide Squad to understand your character? Because your character is connected to the history that we already saw.
Yeah, I watched Suicide Squad. I read a bunch of stuff and just trying to download, as much Rick Flag Sr. as I could.
So what was the craziest thing that Sean asked you to do for this series?
Have sex. Is to simulate having sex with Maria and making a lot of noises in a booth. That was interesting. No? That was fun.
It was crazy because I was you were recording from the States, I was recording from Europe.
Yeah.
And we have James also on a Zoom call, and we're making kissing sounds.
Kissing sounds.
But you can see the person on camera kissing their hand.
Yeah, simulating making love violently.
Yeah.
I can imagine that it's something that you've never done before, because I talked much about guys who's making video games, and when they're doing the voiceover, they're saying they're going into the booth and they're like jumping, and giving the noises. So I can imagine this will be more fun.
That's not so bad, but having sex is interesting. Yeah. It's made us much closer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're like family now.